The cold rain drizzled down, setting the scene for a chance encounter that would change Patrick's life. He stepped into the store, his attention captured by the rhythmic tapping of raindrops against the windowpane. As he approached the cash register, he couldn't help but notice a pretty brunette handling transactions. The hum of the store was momentarily drowned out by the electric connection between Patrick and Holly. When he handed her the money, a jolt surged through them, and for a split second, their eyes locked in shared surprise. Holly, recovering first, managed a shy smile. $7 is your change. Just take it yourself, otherwise, I'm afraid that again. She delicately placed the money on the cash register shelf, her gaze meeting his. He chuckled. That was something, wasn't it? Holly blushed and replied, maybe it's fate that warns us in this way. Patrick, intrigued, winked, maybe she's checking us out. Their banter laid the foundation for a connection neither of them could comprehend. Little did they know that seemingly ordinary exchange would mark the beginning of an electrifying journey, one where touch would become a double-edged sword, binding them in ways they could never have anticipated. The next evening, in a cozy cafe filled with the aroma of fresh green tea, Patrick and Holly sat across from each other. Patrick extended his hand. Patrick, he said. She took it, and as their fingers touched, a familiar shock passed between them. Holly wrinkled her nose comically. It hurts. Patrick winced. It hurts a lot. Holly, laughing, suggested, maybe it's fate's way of keeping us on our toes. Patrick, captivated by her spirit, replied, I don't care. Maybe it's a sign that we're onto something extraordinary. From that moment, their lives became entwined in a peculiar dance of attraction and pain. As they sipped green tea and shared stories, the electric current that flowed between them remained a tantalizing mystery, setting the stage for a love story unlike any other. Days turned into weeks, and the unusual connection between Patrick and Holly deepened. Their encounters were no longer mere coincidences. They were serendipitous moments, orchestrated by a force they couldn't comprehend. The electrifying touch, which had once bewildered them, now became an integral part of their relationship. One evening, as they sat in the same cozy cafe where their story had begun, Patrick gazed into Holly's eyes. It's strange, isn't it? This thing between us. Holly nodded, a thoughtful expression on her face. I've never felt anything like it. It's like we're connected in a way that goes beyond the physical. Patrick leaned in, captivated. It's like our souls recognize each other, and the shock is just a reminder. Holly's eyes sparkled, a reminder that our connection is something out of the ordinary. Their conversation flowed effortlessly, filled with laughter and shared glances that spoke volumes. The pain from their electrifying encounters became a backdrop to the growing intimacy that bound them together. They navigated through the challenges, finding solace in the simplest acts of being near each other. On a rainy afternoon, they found themselves strolling through a park, hands hovering close but never touching. Patrick, always the adventurous spirit, remarked, who would have thought that avoiding touch could be so thrilling? Holly chuckled, thrilling, yes, but also frustrating. I crave the simplicity of a touch without the pain. Patrick's eyes softened. One day, Holly, we'll figure this out. I believe our love is stronger than whatever strange force brought us together. As they continued their walk, the autumn leaves falling around them, Holly leaned against Patrick, a closeness that spoke of a connection beyond the physical. The challenge of their unique bond only fueled their determination to uncover the mysteries that surrounded them. In the weeks that followed, they experimented with the boundaries of their connection. Holding hands from a distance, sharing lingering glances, they discovered that the more they embraced the intangible aspects of their relationship, the stronger their bond became. Little did they know, their journey was just beginning, and the true test of their love lay ahead. As the seasons changed, so did the dynamics of Patrick and Holly's relationship. Their love, though unique and bound by an unseen force, faced challenges that tested the limits of their endurance. Navigating through the labyrinth of their feelings, they discovered that the more they delved into the complexities of their connection, the more intricate it became. One evening, Patrick and Holly sat in the quiet corner of their favorite cafe, a place that had become a sanctuary for their unfolding romance. The air buzzed with an unspoken tension as they sipped their green tea. "It's like we're dancing on a tightrope, isn't it?" Patrick said, breaking the silence. Holly nodded, her eyes reflecting a mix of emotions. "The pain is getting stronger, but I can't bear the thought of staying away from you." Patrick reached across the table, their fingers brushing without making contact. "It's as if the more we want to be close, the more it hurts." Holly sighed. "But I'd rather endure the pain than be apart from you, Patrick." Their connection, once a mysterious novelty, had become a paradox. The joy of their rare caresses was overshadowed by the pain that followed. Yet, in those fleeting moments of physical contact, they discovered a depth of intimacy that transcended the ordinary. In an attempt to navigate the unseen barrier, they sought advice from a wise old friend. As they shared their story, the friend chuckled. "Love has its own language, my dears. Yours is just a bit more electrifying than most." Patrick grinned. "But how do we make it work?" The old friend's eyes twinkled. "Love is a journey, not a destination. Embrace the pain, for in its midst, you might discover the true strength of your connection." Encouraged by these words, Patrick and Holly faced the challenge head-on. They learned to communicate without touch, to find solace in shared glances and whispered words. The pain became a bittersweet reminder of the intensity of their love. In moments of vulnerability, Patrick confessed, "I never thought love could be this complicated." Holly smiled through a hint of tears. "But it's our love, Patrick. It's unique, and I wouldn't trade it for anything." Their journey continued, a delicate dance of joy and pain. In the midst of their challenges, they discovered that love, in all its forms, required resilience. And as they embraced the unseen barrier, they understood that their connection was more profound than any obstacle that stood in their way. The fragile balance of Patrick and Holly's love was shattered when a sudden health crisis thrust them into uncharted territory. The store that once witnessed the spark of their connection now stood witness to the unraveling of their story. One evening, Patrick's phone rang, shattering the quiet of his apartment. He answered, his voice tense. "Yes, I'm listening," he said into the receiver. The news on the other end delivered a blow that reverberated through his entire being. "Aunt Emma, which hospital is she in?" "Understood." Fear and urgency fueled Patrick's steps as he rushed to Holly's side. The hospital room, stark and sterile, was a stark contrast to the warmth they once shared. Holly sat on the bed, her eyes distant, sipping on a cup of chicken broth. Patrick's heart sank at the sight of her. "What happened, my love?" he asked, his concern evident. Holly turned away, her voice barely audible. "Please go away." Confusion etched Patrick's face. "But Holly, I want to be here for you." "What happened?" "Go away," she screamed suddenly, her eyes filled with desperation. "Stop it." Patrick, hurt by her rejection, sat down beside her. "I don't understand." "Tell me, Holly. I need to know." She shuddered, her eyes squeezing shut. "Don't you understand that it hurts me? My bones ache even from your presence. I'm taking pills to be able to be with you somehow. And today I drank about 20 of them, because on Fridays we have the impossible as possible, as we called it, our rare caresses. I love you, but it's unbearable. Our love will kill us, Patrick. She almost killed me already." Patrick, his voice trembling, struggled to comprehend the magnitude of her pain. "But how am I without you?" "I'd rather have pain all over, just to stay with you. I can't do it without you, Holly. I love you very much." "What?" she interrupted, her eyes filled with anguish. "Do you love me?" "Love, but from a distance. I'm sorry, and please leave." Silence hung heavy in the air as Patrick, devastated, got up and silently left the room. The hospital corridor felt like a desolate path, echoing the ache in his heart. As he walked away, the realization struck him that their love, once boundless and electrifying, had become a source of torment for the one he cherished most. And as Patrick grappled with the pain of separation, he couldn't fathom the depth of Holly's suffering. The love that once brought joy had morphed into a painful paradox, leaving both lovers adrift in a sea of uncertainty. Separated by the stark reality of Holly's health crisis, Patrick and Holly found themselves navigating the tumultuous waters of a love that transcended touch. Each phone call, each message became a lifeline sustaining the fragile connection they refused to relinquish. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Patrick, haunted by the image of Holly's pain, felt the weight of their separation in every breath. One evening, as he dialed Holly's number, the anticipation and anxiety knotted in his stomach. Holly. Patrick's voice carried a mixture of longing and concern. Yes, her voice, though distant, held a thread of familiarity. "How are you?" he asked, knowing the question bore the weight of unspoken worries. "Managing," Holly replied, her words carrying the weight of a reality neither of them had asked for. Their conversations were no longer filled with shared laughter and the buzz of a cafe. Instead, they became a symphony of unspoken emotions and lingering pauses, each sentence punctuated by the silent ache of their separation. In one of their phone calls, Patrick confessed, "I miss you, Holly. It's like a part of me is missing." Holly's voice, tinged with sadness, responded, "I miss you too, but I can't bear the pain of being close. It's a different kind of agony." Their love, once defined by the electrifying touch that both bound and separated them, now existed in the intangible realm of words and emotions. They navigated the challenges of a relationship that defied the conventions of physical closeness. As the months passed, they found solace in virtual spaces. Social media became a canvas for their love, with messages and photos telling a story of a connection that refused to wane. In the quiet moments between their calls, Patrick would scroll through pictures of Holly, his heart swelling with a mixture of love and longing. One evening, as they exchanged messages, Patrick typed, "I wish I could hold you right now." Holly's response was swift, "I wish for that too, but you know the consequences." Their love had become a delicate dance, a constant negotiation between the desire for physical closeness and the stark reality of its consequences. Yet, in the midst of the pain, they clung to the hope that someday circumstances might change. The distance, both physical and emotional, tested the strength of their connection, and as they embraced a love beyond touch, they discovered a resilience within themselves that they never knew existed. Their story was no longer just about electrifying encounters. It was an exploration of the enduring power of love in its most profound and unconventional forms. 3 long years had passed since the painful revelation in the hospital room. Patrick and Holly existed in separate spheres, their love sustained by the fragile threads of digital communication. The hope that had fueled their perseverance had become a distant beacon, guiding them through the shadows of uncertainty. One evening, Patrick found himself sitting by the window, the city lights below flickering like distant stars. He dialed Holly's number, the anticipation of hearing her voice mixing with the ever-present ache in his heart. "Hello." Holly's voice echoed through the phone, a familiar yet distant melody. "Hey, Holly," Patrick greeted, his voice tinged with a mixture of warmth and longing. "Patrick," she responded, and for a moment, the silence spoke volumes. "How have you been?" he asked, the question laden with unspoken emotions. "Surviving," she admitted, a hint of exhaustion coloring her words. "And you?" "Same," Patrick sighed, the weight of their shared struggle palpable. "I miss you." Holly's voice softened. "I miss you too, Patrick, but I can't risk the pain." The conversation lingered in the realm of unspoken truths. The love that once flourished in the simplicity of shared moments had become a complex tapestry woven with threads of longing and restraint. In an attempt to bring a semblance of normalcy to their lives, they navigated through social media, sharing fragments of their separate worlds. One day, as Patrick scrolled through Holly's photos, he stumbled upon a picture from their past, a moment frozen in time when the world seemed simpler. He messaged her, "Remember this day?" Holly's response was swift, How could I forget? The image spoke of a time when their love was untarnished by the pain that now defined it. It was a bittersweet reminder of what they once had and what they still yearned for. As the years went by, the distance between them became more than physical. It was a chasm filled with the unspoken and the unresolved. The hope they clung to became a beacon in the darkness, flickering but refusing to extinguish. One day, during a rare video call, Patrick looked into Holly's eyes through the screen and said, "I still believe, Holly. I believe that one day we'll find a way to be together without the pain." Holly, her gaze unwavering, replied, "I want to believe that too, Patrick, but we've been through so much." Their love, once defined by electrifying encounters and painful separations, now stood as a testament to the endurance of the human heart. The distant hope they harbored was a fragile ember, but it illuminated the path they continued to tread, a path where the echoes of their love resonated through the years, refusing to be silenced. The journey was far from over, and the uncertain future held the promise of a love that might one day be free from the constraints that bound it. In the tapestry of Patrick and Holly's lives, the threads of their love were woven into a story that defied convention. The 3 years of separation had not dimmed the flame that burned between them, a flame that, despite the challenges, refused to be extinguished. Patrick, now immersed in his work and daily routines, found solace in the memories of their shared moments. His phone, a constant companion, held messages and photos that served as reminders of a love tested by the passage of time. One day, as he sat in the same cozy cafe where their story had begun, Patrick received a message from Holly. The screen illuminated with her name, and his heart skipped a beat. "Patrick," her message read, "I found something that might change everything." Intrigued and cautiously hopeful, Patrick responded, "What is it, Holly? What did you find?" Holly's reply came quickly, "I've been researching, talking to specialists. There might be a way for us to be together without the pain. I can't promise anything, but it's a glimmer of hope." The cafe, once witness to the spark of their connection, now became the backdrop for a renewed sense of possibility. Patrick, his hands trembling slightly, typed back, "Tell me more. I want to believe." As the days unfolded, Holly and Patrick delved into the realm of medical research and unconventional solutions. The distance that had defined their relationship for so long seemed to blur as they united in a shared quest for a love free from the constraints that had haunted them. In one of their late-night conversations, Holly confessed, "I can't shake the feeling that our love is meant to overcome even the strangest of obstacles. Maybe this is our chance, Patrick." He, equally driven by hope and determination, responded, "I've always believed in us, Holly. Let's explore this together." Their journey, once characterized by pain and separation, now took on a new chapter filled with anticipation and possibility. The unseen bond that had held them captive for years became a force propelling them towards a future where love could finally be unbridled. Months passed, filled with consultations, trials, and moments of uncertainty. Yet, through it all, Patrick and Holly clung to the belief that their love was destined for more than the limitations they had known. The cafe, where they had first touched and felt the shock of their connection, became a symbol of their unwavering determination. And then, on a day when the sun painted the sky in hues of warmth, Patrick received a call from Holly. "Patrick," her voice echoed through the phone, "I think we found a way. A way to be together without the pain." Tears welled in Patrick's eyes as he whispered, "Holly, I never stopped believing." Their love, once defined by the agony of touch, had evolved into a resilient force capable of conquering even the most enigmatic challenges. The unseen bond that had once caused pain was now the foundation for a love that stood triumphant against all odds. As Patrick and Holly embraced the new chapter of their story, the cafe, witness to their journey, continued to hold the echoes of their laughter, their pain, and now their triumph. The unseen bond that had both tormented and strengthened them had become a testament to the enduring power of a love that refused to be confined. The future, once uncertain, now held the promise of a life where they could finally touch without fear, where their love could be as boundless as the horizon stretching before them.